Hi Capricorn, how are you doing? We are doing a brief mid-month check-in for September today. This can also count as a full moon in Pisces message for the 18th of September. That's going to be a super moon and a partial lunar eclipse as well. So I've had a really busier than usual September. I'll be resuming the more in-depth readings when we get to October. So we're starting off with a message from the Power of Surrender deck first of all for you. What do we need to know for Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising, please? I'm going to look at that because of the way it jumped. I'm not going to take it. It says surrender stress. Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center. So that could be for someone. Let me try that again though. It's just it jumped up, so yeah. Right, we have the proper card you have is surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. So it's a full moon message, because full moons are about releasing. Begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. And Pisces, so it's a full moon in Pisces. Pisces is very connected to their emotions, aren't they? You may want to look up what house the full moon in Pisces is happening, where that's happening in your birth chart, what house that's happening in about 5 weeks. So obviously Pluto left your sign, went into Aquarius and then retrograded back into your sign. So you may, as many people may feel like, I can allude to this, feel like you're reliving an old story or reliving an old cycle, and you may not be happy about it, and I completely understand and relate to that. I feel like I'm reliving an old story right now and I'm not happy about it, but I know that the lesson for me is that I have to do things differently. There's something very specific that I've got to do differently, otherwise I'm going to have to repeat this shit again, and I'm not doing it. I've told myself, nope, I'm completing the assignment this time, I'm completing the mission. If it kills me, I'm not doing this shit again. I've done it for decades and I've had enough now. You may feel the same way. Anyway, yeah. So while Pluto is still retrograde in your sign, it may be a really challenging time for you. It goes direct on the 12th of October, and then it will be back in Aquarius by the 19th of November. I can't wait, but obviously if I don't do the work, then it ain't gonna make a difference anyway. So heads up, if you've got work to do, spiritual work, whatever, work within yourself, you know, we've got to focus, haven't we? Anyway, right, let's get your cards out. So what else do we need to know for Capricorn, Sun, Moon and Rising? You have Ace of Cups. Wow. Right, and that is a card that's connected to emotions, love. Are there emotions that you need to accept? Are there emotions that you need to feel free to express as well? That's something that comes to mind here. Anything else? Obviously, for me, I will take that. The Ace of Cups can be connected to self-love. That would be where, so it said compassionately identify the moon. That can be where you need to identify your reading. I feel like your reading might connect with Cancer, because Cancer is your 7th house, isn't it? 7th house. I know that typically the 8th house can be connected with intimacy. 8th house is Scorpio, but the 7th house is relationship. So if there are relationship patterns or issues around here, because Cancer is your 7th house, it might be worth you watching the Cancer reading as well. I think have I already said to you, check where the full moon is, which house the full moon is happening in your birth chart. I'd do that as well, because that may help. But the Cancer reading, there might be something there for you as well, as brief as that is. But that's connected to emotions as well, and the moon is the Cancer card. So hidden emotions, potentially, what emotions, as I say, are you needing to become more aware of and identify, and how you use them, you know, how you respond to them, how you use them, how you express them. That may be key here. Do you express your emotions, or are you quite a stoic person? Or do you use your emotions, why do I feel like saying, do you use your emotions to manipulate? That is a possibility. And sometimes when we manipulate, it's not even consciously, is it? It's just we've gotten into a pattern where we do things a certain way, and it's only in retrospect we're like, oh shit, actually that was quite manipulative of me. Or, you know, like passive aggressiveness. I'm sure a lot of passive aggressive people don't consider themselves to be manipulative, but when you think about it, it is manipulative. Like if you kind of giving someone the silent treatment where they're sort of saying, oh, what's wrong, and you're like, oh, nothing, that is a bit manipulative, because it's putting someone in a bit of a headspin, thinking, oh shit, what have I done, what's happened, blah blah blah, because you don't want to open up. You don't want to open up, so it kind of puts them in a little bit of turmoil. Anyway, don't know why I felt the need to say that, but let's see. Right, Seven of God, you got a lot of you got a shitload of water energy here, Capricorn, so there's definitely a lot of emotional stuff going on. You may even feel sometimes like it's not even worth expressing your emotions for whatever reason, whether it's to do with fears of getting hurt, because the moon can show up as fears. And it can even be as simple as, you know, like in your family, if you feel like, oh, there's no point me saying that I'm not happy about such and such to my family members because they don't give a shit anyway. It can even be as simple as that. And to be frank, you can't make, I mean, first of all, if you don't tell them, you're not going to necessarily know if they care or not. And second of all, you can't make them care. But you can let it out, get it out of your system and set some boundaries or state how you feel. But you can't control anybody else's response, can you? And then we've got the King of Wands. So I feel like there may be some courage needed around emotions, whether it's courage to identify or courage to use. I feel like saying use. How do you use your emotions? It feels significant here. That might be the title, and I hope I remember that, because when I recorded one of the other readings, I had a great title. Well, I thought it was a great title and I forgot it by the end of the video, so I can't figure out the title now until I watch it again. But yeah, use. How do you use your emotions? Do you act upon your emotions in certain situations as well? Because the King of Wands is someone who takes action, is like a man of action. But here, it would be where you identify what the emotion is and then you decide what you want to do with it. So again, how do you use your emotions? What do you want to do with your emotions? What do you do with your emotions? And if you haven't even identified them, then there's the need to do that. I think that's your message. Yep, that is your message. So I hope that the rest of September goes well for you, Capricorn. Again, it can be a full moon message as well. So one thing, again, another thing you may need to release is any fear of emotions in general, or a particular emotion or a particular situation where there's emotions connected to it. There may be a need to release any fears around that. But yeah, I'll leave it there for you. Hopefully you get through whatever it is you need to resolve with that full moon as well. And I'll see you in October when I will be doing the more in-depth readings again. So take care.